Okay. Today we are going to talk about the switch conditions. So now I'm going to write a new method to execute switch conditions. I'm just saying public void something like, I'm just mentioning some name for method, switch test. So now int count, passing an argument, count as an int. So now inside this, you can write switch conditions, something pretty simple. I mean, you can write this. In Eclipse, if you use, you get this option. You can see how the code look like here. So if you select that, automatically you get the switch option. So key. What is the key here? So key can be anything. For now, for this example, I'm using count. And count is an integer. So now the switch condition will take the type of an integer because I'm using count. So now the case 0, case 1, break. So what does it mean? So now what happens is whenever if the passed in count is 0, it will execute the lines under case statement, case equal to 0. So whatever you write here, I mean I am keeping here case is 0. So now here I'm keeping case is 1. Something like this. So now it is nothing but like a if implementation, and this will be a very cleaner implementation. So what we are doing is use a switch with whatever the argument that you want to pass to switch, and then if the count is 1, execute this line and then break. That means any of these lines, highlighted lines, will not be executed. So for any given time, only one case statement will be executed. So, and what is this default? In case the count is not 0, not 1, and it will go into default. So if you wanted to implement something when no condition is matched, there you can use default. So here, no condition matched. So now let's go and see how this works now. Okay. So I have a person object, and then taking the same person object and call the same method. This time I'm giving 0. Now let's execute this statement. So you're going to see count is 0 because we are passing 0. Let's say I pass 1. So it will go to the second case statement. Now case is still 1. Why? Let's see. Oh yeah. I given right. Okay. Case is 1. It goes to the second statement. Now let's say I give 2. So there is no condition to match 2 because we have only case 0, case 1. There is no case 2. So in that situation, it should go and execute the default. So no condition matched. So this is how switch statement works. Switch is nothing but in a way of, if what we seen yesterday, right? So this is similar to the implementation of count 0. You can implement the same implementation using if, else if also. So if you say count equal to 1, and else. So now I'm just keeping for print statement separate. Just I'm adding if so that you can see two statements separate. Now you will see this implementation. So both ways, using if else if conditions also you can do the same thing, or by using switch conditions also you can implement the same behavior. Now you see here case is 0, if case is 0. So that means it gone in this loop, this condition. So to avoid too many, here only 2 or 3, that is fine. If you have 10 different case conditions you need to validate, you will end up having large number of code lines. To reduce and make your code pretty simpler, you can use switch and you can handle this. So that's how switch works. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Now let's look at. So pretty much these are all the about different conditions that you can use. So now I will get into inheritance. One of the so far you learned very basic stuff of what is conditions, what is methods, what is access modifiers, like that. So now I'm going to start with real object-oriented concepts one by one. Now, so here I have the person. So I am going to create a separate package. This we already had the discussion around this, how to use packages. So I'm saying something like com prior hire. Oh, this is already there, right? So what can I do for this? No, okay. Let me do something here. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is interfaces. I'm trying to create an interface under the com prior hire without having a directory. So that's where one in main Java com. Oh, was it slow? Fine. So at the prior hire level, I am trying to create a new class, new file, something dot, what can I say? Math dot, I can't say math calc. I'm creating some class, math calc dot Java. So now you see here, underneath I got mathcalc.java, and under prior hire you have different ones, right? Let me refresh to give you the clear picture. So now you see here, if you look at in the folder structure, so under com prior hire training you have person. And above this, and meaning this is the package, com prior hire training, you have one class, and under com prior hire, you have another class. So now, in math class, mathcalc.java, what I'm going to do here is, I don't do anything, I'm just declaring an interface. Interface. Interface means what it is. Interface is only definition of what you wanted to do. And whoever is implementing interfaces, they need to override, implement the methods defined in an interface. So in interfaces, you can define variables and you can define methods and you won't have implementation for any given method inside the interface. Now we are going to see in a practical way. So I'm keeping the same name, MathCal. So usually you can directly create like this because I don't have nothing empty in the package. I ended up doing like that. So math calculation. So I'm creating, see here, public interface math calculation, and you get the package here. I mean, this all automatically happens in Eclipse because you are creating inside a package. So automatically package will be added there. Now, once an interface is created, now you can see here the interface. So now what we are going to do, interface is nothing but a class. I mean, you can treat it as a class, but you will have only variables and defined methods. Means no implementation for a method. Now, how this works? As we know, we can do variables declaration. So something like this, public, string, first name. So you can give whatever you want. So like this, any variables you can create, just like what you created in a class, regular class. Regular class in the sense, something like this. The difference here is this is class because you defined it as a class. And here you define it as an interface. Now, coming to the methods, I want math calculations should have public return type of a method. Method should return me int, and method name is add integers. I can define any method name. This is up to you, or based on your business logic, you can define any method. So now, I am not doing anything like open braces or close braces. I mean, if I do this open and close braces, that means though you don't write any lines inside this, this is already an implementation, method implementation without anything inside it. So this you cannot do with interfaces. So you can only define methods like this. That's it. So here, the difference here between the interface and class is, here you have only method definition. If you go here, you actually have an implementation. Okay, so whenever if you try to write an implementation in an interface, it will throw you an error. If I'm just trying the implementation, now you see it throws error. Okay, so now, so whoever is implementing this class, this is an interface. I define whoever is wanted to use math calculations and interested in implementing this interface, they are responsible for implementing the definitions here. Now let's say I'm going back to person class. So now here I wanted to implement interface, whatever I just created. So to implement interfaces, you need to say implements and whatever the interface that we have just created, get that back. Okay. Math calculation. So now I have implemented method calculation interface that we just created. So now automatically you see a problem with this class. So now, you can just mouse over and you can, easily understand what it is. So now what it says is add unimplemented methods. So unimplemented methods meaning whatever the definition coming from the math calculation interface is not added to person class now. So if you use Eclipse, you just go here, add. You just click on whatever it shows link, right? Click on the link, so it will automatically add the implementation skeleton here. So now, once it is added, now you see there is no problem with this class. Now I'm going back to the interface and creating another one, int multiply. I'm creating one more definition, method definition. So multiply integers. Now again, you see a problem here because every unimplemented method coming from interface needs to be implemented in your class. So now I'm going to add. Now I'm going to do again the same previous step. Now you got the public int multiply integers. So now this is how you can define an interface and you can use in any of the classes where you are implementing the interface. The purpose of interface is, so define what you need, kind of a functionality at one place and use them, meaning implement them wherever you want. It's kind of enforcing rules, what to be implemented. So now, let's say I don't want to implement. So because let's say my interface is having 10 definitions. I don't want to implement every damn thing in the class that I am using. So in that situation, you can do, instead of implementing like this, and you can add abstract keyword. It should be right. Let me see. Okay. So now, no, sorry, I think I given you wrong example here. So now you can make, because you don't want to implement all the implementation. Now you can make it as abstract class. So I'm abstracting the class because I don't want to implement everything. I want to implement only integers. So now, to use this class, now I'm going back to, you cannot create objects for an abstract class. So now that's why you see a problem here. Cannot instantiate person. That means you cannot create objects for an abstract class. So then what is the purpose of using an abstract class? So that means you can create one more, you can create another class. Now I'm creating Go version. I'm creating another class on my name as a person. So now in this class, I am extending person. So now, once a class can be extended and an interface can be implemented. These are all, whatever you see in red color, those are all the keywords reserved by JDK. You cannot use them for any other purpose than it is mentioned. So now you see, because I'm extending person, automatically my class is at error condition because I'm just mouse over on it, you see it. Add unimplemented methods. So now I need to implement multiplier. So now what happened here? I did not implement both methods here. So in the math calculation, I have two definitions, add integers, multiply integers. And the person class implements the interface, and I am implementing only one method and making class abstract. Now, when it comes to here, my class, what I did, I extended person, and I have implemented multiply integers method. So that means, what did I do? Two methods defined an interface. I have implemented one in one class and one in another class. So this is how you can have parent and child relation. So you can implement at a parent level, and you can use the same behavior in the child. So this is how inheritance works. That is one of the object-oriented concepts. I will go a little bit deeper, but I want to stop here. And are you able to get?
Yeah, but like, can we create an object of the parent class in the child class?
You can create.
Okay.
So now let's say if I do, I'll remove this abstract. Now, person, I'm implementing the other method directly here. So now I'm extending person class, and I don't need to override this because it's already in there in the person class. Yeah. Now here I'm going to create a new method, public void my method, something. I mean, I'm just giving some dummy method names. So now here, new person. I can create a person, and no problem. New, go over them. So this is my child class.
Yeah.
So you can create like that. So you can create object for any completed class, meaning any class that does not have abstract methods or unimplemented methods. So if the class is fully defined, implemented, then you should be able to create objects.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No more questions.
Okay. So you are able to understand what I'm trying to explain? I mean, because OOPS concept is a little bit confused for freshers, so that's why I'm asking multiple times.
Yeah, it is clear.
Okay. So now, we've gone through interfaces, classes, abstract classes, and how you can build the parent and child relationship. Now, let's say in the person class, I have some add integers and multiplied integers. So for now, I'm going back to in the interface definition. I'm changing the definition. I mean, you can pass arguments. You cannot implement, but you can pass arguments. First number in last number. So this is my method definition. Now, in the person class, wherever I'm implementing the interface, so your method signature should be same, matching whatever you mentioned in the interface. So now, here I'm saying, return. I mean, this should return something, right? I'm saying return first number plus last number. So the implementation of adding numbers is first number and last number, it returns it. And similarly, here I'm saying multiply. So I'm saying first number, multiply, last number. Why? Let's see what is happening here. In syntax error. This token. Oh, I see. Typo mistake. Just a typo mistake. So now, both methods are implemented. So now automatically in this class, my method, I can get the implementation. I'm not creating any objects here. So I'm just created a method in Govardhan here. So I'm saying do calculate. I'm just changing the method name. So here I'm saying this dot. When I say this dot, automatically I am getting parent class behavior. That's why I'm seeing add integers. So that means the class Govardhan will have access to the implementation in class person without creating any objects. So now here I'm saying, I just keep some numbers, 100 and 200. This dot multiply numbers 2 and 3. So this is how you can access implementation in parent classes without creating objects or without creating your own implementation. Once you define the calculations, and once you implement the calculations, you can use this behavior anywhere in your application. Write once and use anywhere in your application. That's the purpose of having parent and child relations. So you don't need to, in every class, there is no point, writing these methods and again. So you can, tomorrow, if you need to change the addition algorithm in a different way, tomorrow you're going to do +1, something. You want to do something like this. The calculation gets changed. You don't need to change all 10 places. Change at one place. Whoever is extending the person class, they will get the implementation automatic. That's the advantage of using inheritance. Now, I put like this, and then I will create an object of Govardhan in, wherever we are executing previously. Now, here I'm saying new Govardhan. So I'm just creating, a Govardhan type, and object name is something like UOV. This is my object name. UOV dot do. So now here, see, when I'm creating an object of Govardhan, automatically I see add integers. Where it is coming from? It is not coming from Govardhan. It is coming from person class. That's what we extended in Govardhan class. So if you look at in Govardhan, so you are extending person. That's why. So whenever you create an object of Govardhan, you can access members of Govardhan and also the members of parent for Govardhan class. So that's why you can do add integers. You can access them, or you can do multiply. You can access everything, or the class, just the method defined inside the Govardhan also. Do calculations. So now I'm using just Govardhan. Do calculations. Now let's run this class. What happened? Do calculation. Oh, I did not put any print statements. Now let's keep, because it's executed, but I did not keep any print statements. That's why you did not see any messages here. Now, here, I'm just keeping. And similarly, I keep another print statement for multiplication. Now you can go and see, run again, and you will see the print. Okay. So the first one is 300 and second one is 6. So your implementation is executed. Whatever, first one is this and second one is 6. So 100 plus 200, 300, 2 into 3, 6. So this is how you can access parents implementation anywhere you want. Now, let's say I got the implementation from person into Govardhan, whatever this implementation. In Govardhan class, I don't want to use addition implementation coming from person, but I want to use multiply integers implementation coming from person. That means one of the method implementation I want it. Another method implementation I don't want it. But I want my own custom thing in Govardhan class. So in that situation, you can definitely override the methods implementation. So I'm copying this now. So some implementation is already coming from person, but I am overriding that implementation. And now multiplication, I'm saying first number minus last number minus 2 something. So this is how I want to implement the multiply integers inside the Govardhan class. So now let's see how this works, because I'm overriding that implementation. Now it's changed. 2 into 3 should be 6, but it is 4 because we changed the way the implementation happens here. So that means whenever you create an object of a class like this, if a method is available inside that class, it will pick up first. Meaning here, this dot add in a multiply integers, right? Whenever this line comes, it will try to take it from the same class. If this is not available, and Java will pick up from parent class multiply integers method. So this is nothing but overwriting a method. So this is one of the popular interview questions. They'll ask overwriting method. Overwriting, okay? Overwriting or overriding, whatever you call. So that's how you can overwrite a method. So when you are doing overriding a method, the method signature should be same. So here if you see, method signature means all together. So method name, arguments, return type, all together should be matching. Then only Java will consider as overwriting. Now, so let's say I did not try that, but I'll try this one. I'm trying a different option. So meaning I changed integer. Now I'll keep that integer, but I will remove last number. So I'm changing the method signature. Whatever is coming from parent, I am not using it. I'm changing the method signature. So now you don't see any problem here. Though the method names are same from the top and here, from person also you have the multiply integers that will be accessible inside the Govardhan. Now I also defined one more, still with a different method signature. So in the parent class you have 2 arguments. In the child class you have only 1 argument. And so when you do this, so now you carefully watch the difference between the way I am calling. So now here I'm calling one line with 2 arguments. Second one I'm calling with only single argument. So now let's look at the implementation. Now you see here, first one is 6 and second one is 0. What happened here? The first one, this line is 6. Where it is coming from? The implementation is available in person class because the method signature is not available in the child class. So it will execute the implementation from parent class. That's why you see 6. And the second line, you see, it's different. The argument is only single argument. That's why it will be executed. The child class method, which is 2 minus 2 is 0. That's why you see a different implementation. So now this is nothing but overloading. Overloading. So overloading means the overwriting is method signature is saying the implementation is different. Overloading is method signature is different and implementation is also different. That's the difference between overwriting and overloading. Any questions?
No questions.
So I would like to stop here because, if I give you more, you get confused. So I want to stop here. Practice more and more around inheritance, read material around inheritance, and practice more examples around this. How to use interface, how to create a class, how to, create a parent and child relation and all that stuff. So if you have any questions, I'll answer.